How's it going, guys? My name is Alex Orozco. I'm a 23-year-old nursing student here in California, and today I want to go over how you can make $300 to $600 or possibly more working part-time hours on your own time whenever you want. Stay tuned. So I'm 23 years old, I'm finishing up college, I'm in my last semester of my registered nursing program, and as we all know, for those of us who are in college or in school, your schedule can get pretty unpredictable. Things like finals week, social outings, family outings, all of which can make your schedule kind of sporadic. And being a college student, you're going to be working part-time for the most part. Obviously, this varies from person to person, and without your college degree, chances are you're going to be working around minimum wage or slightly above it. Depending on where you live, this is about $7 to $12 an hour. And with having these part-time jobs comes having kind of a crappy boss, having difficult coworkers, and dealing with difficult customers. So given these circumstances, I decided I would look for something that works with my schedule, something that allows me to attend the outings that I need to, something that I can make good money in, where I don't have to necessarily work for anybody. So given those circumstances, I decided I would do something that allows me to work for myself under my own hours that still pays me pretty well. And the method I chose was food delivery. Now when I'm talking about food delivery, I'm talking about DoorDash and GrubHub specifically. DoorDash and GrubHub are food delivery platforms that provide great benefits if you use it properly. One of the biggest things that I enjoy about DoorDash and GrubHub is that you create your own schedule. You're never forced to work, you can choose to work whenever you want, and let's say you choose to schedule yourself to work from, let's say, 6 to 8 o'clock, and something comes up, you can just drop the shift, no repercussions, there's no manager, and you won't get fired. Now, once you start working, you can accept or deny whichever job you want. You're never forced to take a job, and you're shown how much you're going to make for that specific job when they send it to you. If you don't like it or you don't think it's worth the time, you can deny it. Another big plus about these jobs is that they offer fast pay or quick pay. And what this is essentially for a short fee of usually around 50 cents, they'll deposit it into your bank right then and there, and it arrives within minutes. So for those of you who need quick cash, let's say rent is coming up or you have something that you have to buy very soon, this might be the perfect opportunity for you. Another big thing that a lot of people are going to appreciate is that there's minimal customer interaction. You don't have a boss, you don't have a manager, and then when you're seeing the customer, it's literally just to hand them the food and be on your way. You don't have to deal with picky customers asking for your manager or managers bearing down on you. You're working for yourself. And for those of you who appreciate working for yourself, it's actually pretty fun. You could take some earphones, listen to some good music, or even better, some podcasts, be on your way, and time flies. So before you get started with DoorDash and GrubHub, there's a couple things that you need and a couple things you need to know. So firstly, you need to apply and get accepted to work for DoorDash and GrubHub. The application process is super easy, and there's a very high chance that you'll get accepted. Next, you're going to need a smartphone. As we all know, these platforms are run through their apps. So you go ahead and accept the order on your smartphone, you go ahead and deliver it, you get your directions through your Google Maps or Apple Maps, whichever you prefer. So you need that smartphone. And yes, you can use either Apple or Android. Next, you need a car, preferably one that's cheap, reliable, and good on gas. And the reason for this is you're going to be driving a majority of the time, and if you're driving a Hummer, you're going to be paying more in gas than you are earning. So a good car, in my opinion, would be something like a 2005 Honda Civic, something that's cheap to buy if you don't already have one, cheap on gas, and will literally ride until the wheels fall off. Next, you obviously need your driver's license and you need insurance on your car, in case anything happens. And lastly, you need to live in a zone that offers GrubHub or DoorDash. They're usually all around the US, but there are some rural areas that don't offer this, and for those of you who live in those areas, you might be out of luck. So if you have all of the things I just listed, then you should be ready to go with DoorDash and GrubHub. So once you get started, you're not just going to get off making the maximum amount of money. There's obviously a learning curve, but I'm here to help expedite that for you. Firstly, choose an area that you know, preferably what I like to call a middle ground, an area that tips well enough but isn't too cluttered. So an area like downtown Los Angeles might tip really well, but traffic is ridiculous, and the amount of money you're going to make to the amount of time you're spending doing orders just isn't worth it. So an area that's in that perfect middle ground is going to give you a good balance between customers that tip really well and not having to deal with too much traffic. Next, you want to find hotspots in your area. What I mean by that is a lot of cities have a bunch of restaurants cluttered all around each other, and that's where you want to go because that's where customers are going to be ordering from. And a big rule of thumb that these platforms like to use is that the person closest to the restaurant will typically get the job sent to them. Something I like to promote once you get started with these platforms is to have scheduled shifts for both. What I mean by this is having a GrubHub shift from 11 to 12:30 and then at the same time having a DoorDash shift from 11 to 12:30. This will allow you to get job offers from both. Having both platforms log in at the same time will allow you to stack orders smartly. Obviously, you need to pay very close attention to the orders that you're being received because those two companies aren't in contact with each other. And with that being said, one can send you in one direction and the other will send you in another. But luckily, with these platforms, they tell you where the restaurant is and where the customer is before you accept or deny the order. An example of why I like to use this is, for example, let's say you're dropping off a DoorDash order and a GrubHub order comes in because you're logged into both. You can accept that, and the time it takes you to drop off that order and then drive to the next GrubHub order, your order will be ready and you won't have to wait in restaurants. And I repeat, value your time. You need to accept jobs that are worth the time. When you get sent these orders, you'll see how much you'll get paid, the distance, they'll put the mileage there, and then you'll see where the restaurant and where the customer is. Once you know all of these, you can make a quick decision and understand, hey, is this money going to be worth me driving from here to there, the traffic, the drop-off, and so on. Value your time. I'm going to have an example playing right here of when I was DoorDashing and I had 2 really poor orders coming in that were going to take me too much time for the amount of money I was receiving. After denying both, I got a really good order that was headed right to where I was dropping off my previous order so I could pick it up and be on my way to the next location. By doing this, I was able to make 2 or 3 times the amount in that 30-minute span that I would have had I accepted the other ones. And I promise you will get better over time. You'll start to understand your area more and understand which restaurants usually have their food ready on time, which ones have good parking, which ones like to cater to the delivery drivers, and then which areas you like to drop off in to set you up for your next order. Now, obviously there are a couple variables, and this is going to vary through every single person based on 2 things. Your delivery area and where you live. So if you live in a rural area or an area where people just don't tip too well, the orders that they're sending you might be low value most of the time. And secondly, your hours worked and the times you work. It's preferable that you work around times that people are eating. So something I like to do is work from about 11:30 to 2 p.m., which is brunch lunch, and then I like working from 6:30 to 9 p.m., which is dinner. If you're working at 6 in the morning or at 1 in the morning or at 11 p.m., you're probably not going to get orders sent to you. And if you're someone who drives to a hotspot at those times, you might be sitting in your car wasting your time. To conclude, with this method, I make anywhere from $300 to $700 a week, depending on how much I earn and how the week is, because obviously this is a variable platform. I'm going to have an example right here of my earnings with both DoorDash and GrubHub in a week where I made $683 working part-time about 20 hours. During brunch shifts, I can make anywhere from 18 to 23, sometimes up to 30, 40. Obviously, it's variable depending on how many orders are coming in, which ones I accept, and how well those orders go. For dinner shifts, I can make anywhere from 25 to 40. Dinner shifts are obviously preferable. People like to order more for dinner once they get home from work, and they tend to tip a lot better as well. If you want an in-depth video of each of the platforms, the onboarding process, all the way to getting accepted, how to do an order, how to make the most money, so on and so on, a lot more in-depth than this video goes, please go ahead and give me a like below and comment. So once again, see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in, and have a nice day.